the Trump administration, I'm just wondering, is it saying this to distract attention from its own handling of the coronavirus disaster, or is it because China really does need to come clean? Well, maybe the answer is both.
Both. Well, look, everyone knows the answer to that. This is Huntington's clash of civilizations, isn't it? You've got a repressive, dictatorial, communist regime in China clashing against the transparency of modern democratic nations in the West. So it's both a cultural and a country clash. And the Americans in the West are all expecting a repressive, secretive regime to do what we would do, which is to have a transparent, open investigation into what, as Pompeo said the other day, hundreds of thousands of deaths. Why wouldn't you want to know where this came from, Andrew? So that's all, that Scott Morrison has said and Pompeo said. So no, of course it's not to distract things from the American result, which is bad, but it's not nearly as bad as many, many other countries, as we well know. But going forward, you've got the WHO, who no one trusts now for obvious reasons, and you've got a communist government in China. Of course, they don't want to be embarrassed by a full-scale, transparent, open inquiry into how this started, because it does decades of public relations damage to China at a time when that country is trying to become part of the modern world, which, until it democratises, and God knows if that'll ever happen, it can't join.
No, but see, you said something there. Why wouldn't you want to know where the virus came from? Because obviously you don't want it to happen again. And I would have thought even China would want to know. Of course China would want to know, wouldn't it? I mean, that's what I would have thought. And you've got, when we're talking about, oh, look, we would like an independent inquiry, please, for something that's killed, 96 of us and devastated our economy, et cetera, can we just know where this came from? You've got the China's People's Daily, which is a newspaper of China's Communist Party, accusing Scott Morrison of using these calls for an investigation into where the virus started to deflect criticism over his handling of the bushfires and the coronavirus. It said, the deeply troubled Morrison government is anxious to find an outlet for the domestic public's anger. They're using an old trick to try and blame China. This is what I don't get. Why is China so angry about an investigation that it must want to, whether it's open or closed or shut? It would also want to know the same thing.
Yes, probably, but they do know. The Chinese government would know. But Andrew, this is humiliating. This is humiliating for China at a time when they're trying to join the international economy, right? When their trade is exploding, when the middle class has been dragged out of poverty, when, the slightly open free markets they've got have meant that they've basically had a booming economy in recent years, as we've seen by their GDP growth, which has outshone the EU and most other countries in the world. And at a time when they're trying to say to the world, we are part of the modern progressive world economy. We're a trading nation of great importance to the world. What has happened? We've had this shocking, humiliating embarrassment. And of course they don't want to own up to it.
You need to explain
it's a national embarrassment.
By the way, I'm not 100% convinced.
They don't need to explain anything.
I'm not 100% convinced of what you're saying, that they want to be part of the progressive new world. I think they just want to, traditional power politics. They want to keep friends and mortify enemies. That's really what it's about. They don't want to give America any diplomatic lever.